Assalamu alaikum, I'm Fatima Misbah.
And I'm Tahir Dhindsa.
In today's episode of Pakistan Next Week, we will discuss Afghan peace talks and further developments in it. And also we will discuss Narendra Modi's visit to Jammu and Kashmir, which is scheduled on 3rd of February, and also Kashmir issue. Welcome back to the show. So it seems like that the 17-year-long war is now going to come to an end and negotiations have begun. So let's ask Tahir Dhindsa Saab to know that what further developments are happening in Afghan peace talks.
Actually, there are many players, regional, international, and in Afghanistan there are so many players there at play at the moment, and that is the complication, because it is sort of a jigsaw puzzle. It has become very difficult for the United States to fit all the interest into one picture and just to go along. For example, if the peace talks are a success and there is some sort of a semblance of peace in Afghanistan and Taliban takeover, India would be at odds with it, because they have invested billions of dollars in building road and all to the Chabahar, and also Iran, because they are thick with India in building that road infrastructure to the port city, to the port which is Chabahar. And up till of late, the United States has been looking towards that port as an alternative to Karachi port for the NATO supply. So how to fit them in? Then there are China and Russia. They also look forward towards the peace, but in a different way. They all have a different vantage point. Now at the moment, the negotiations are stuck at a point on reschedule, on withdrawal schedule. The United States want 18th month-long withdrawal schedule, but the Taliban has reportedly said that they would not accept anything other than a 7 days, a week-long withdrawal schedule. So there are two extreme positions. And
the Indian General Bipin Rawat called it a bandwagon. He specifically termed it as bandwagon. And we know that there are various psychology theories that exist and political theories on the bandwagon effect. So can we say that India is pressurized by the possible outcomes of the peace talk?
Yeah. No. So, and the second thing is, one is schedule. Second, India and the United States both want Taliban to take over and come and join into the, sort of a government, in the current government, Afghan government. And then move on further on towards the peace process and actual withdrawal of the United States forces. But they don't want that. Taliban say, you just move out, all boots out of the ground, out of Afghanistan, and we'll take over. We don't need you. So that is extreme position. These are two extreme positions juxtaposed against each other in talks. In Qatar, and now the Zalme Khalilzad, who is the rep, he just recently went to India as well. So let's see what happened. But that is going on.
Ryan Crocker, who was the former US ambassador to Afghanistan, he termed these negotiations or the peace talks as surrender negotiations. Yeah. So what is your stance on that?
Cameron Munter also wrote an article in Washington Post and said, and he has written this word. He said the surrender negotiations, yes, United States is surrendering, it's going out, there is no doubt in it. And that is not sustainable. The war is not sustainable in Afghanistan from their vantage point. They cannot, and if some agreement is not reached now, from 1 year down the line, it would become more difficult for the United States to stay on and carry on.
And Ryan Crocker had further added that it will delegitimize the Afghan government. So we know that there are like 5 to 6 strategies through which we can delegitimize it, which includes dehumanization and outcasting, political labels, group comparison, trait characterization, etc. So which one are we applying over here?
Actually, Taliban control more than 60–70% of the territory in Afghanistan right now. There was a territory in the north which was being controlled with the help of the Northern Alliance, and very famous word, we say them, Glimjim. They're very modern Persian-speaking Afghan, and they're very modern, forward-looking. Their attire is totally different from the usual shuttlecock, the burqa sort of Afghan women. They're totally different. Now, from there, IDPs, internally displaced persons, and the families are coming to Kabul because Taliban have taken over there, and there is no resistance at all. So, just by holding a territory and establishing some sort of governance structure, it clearly tells that they are being legitimized from the acceptance point of view. So that is the one reason. Then militarily it has become impossible to stop them.
After a short break, we will be right back. Stay tuned with us. Welcome back after the break. We will now move on to our second topic, that is Narendra Modi's visit that is scheduled on 3rd of February, and the separatist leaders, that is Said Ali Shah Gilani, Umar Farooq, Yasin Malik, they have started the agitation and they're appealing to the people that there should be a complete lockdown and shutdown in Kashmir when Narendra Modi visits Jammu and Kashmir on 3rd Feb. So how do you see the events, that how they will unfold and what will happen?
Actually, already India is holding on to the Kashmir with the use of force. More than 700,000 troops are stationed there. And despite of that, Kashmiris come out and confront those troops. And there are casualties every day, and they are using tactics which are unacceptable at the international level. All the international norms, I mean, they look into the face of, I mean, they are totally unacceptable there. So, for example, using the pellet guns and all that. If one thing. Second, when he comes out and the population is against them, even then they will come and hold the show, but it will present a picture, as you said, that delegitimize. India is losing its legitimacy there, which is already lost. But as far as the development is concerned, they want to continue, because now in many ways they depend on Kashmir. The electricity that comes from there, the water, they are using it.
Yes, they are depending on Kashmir. But Narendra Modi has also announced to inaugurate several projects that are worth 41,000 crore, and he is intending to invest 35,000 crore in Jammu and 6,000 crore in Kashmir. And that includes the laying of the foundation stone of the first university in Ladakh, an engineering college in Katuha, and then there is the business process outsourcing company that he is going to establish to provide employment opportunities to young men and young women. So do you think that these projects would be enough for the BJP to win seats in the upcoming election? Because previously also they won only 3 seats of Lok Sabha from Jammu and Ladakh.
Actually, that is the typical mistake that India is doing there. They don't want to live with them. It's not economic question. You know, Indira Gandhi actually first, she spent her holidays when her father, Jawaharlal Nehru, was the Prime Minister. And when he went back to New Delhi, he told his father that if we provide business and livelihood opportunity to the population, it would be all right. And every time it has been proven wrong. Now, India has built several dams which produce electricity there. And the electricity is transmitted to the northern Chennai and other part of the India where they are producing industry, not in Kashmir. It's not. And now these business processing and universities, obviously local population would be employed there, and that is the for the but the question is, why this? They don't want to live with them. The question is, they don't want to live with India. So I don't think so. They are going to establish what they are looking for, and that is the totally. It's the typical error of judgment. It's not error of action. Whatever action you take, if your judgment is wrong, whatever action you take, it's going to produce the wrong result.
So we'll move on to our very last topic, that is the Kashmir Day. And we know that it's approaching, and every year we observe Kashmir Day on 5th of February to commemorate the efforts and the sacrifices that the Kashmiris have done and to show our consolidation with us. So this is the first time that it will be observed during the Prime Minister Imran Khan's regime. So will it be different this year or not?
I mean, it should not be very different from the past. In Pakistan, it's observed there would be a couple of these flag carriers and all the visit to the UN. But the thing is that the situation in Kashmir is very different this year. Kashmiris are coming out in streets and totally lock down the real life. despite of the fact that the pellet gun is being used and they are being treated very brutally, and they are coming out. So the situation on ground is very changed in Kashmir, and they don't want to live with India.
And do you think that Narendra Modi's visit to Jammu and Kashmir will have any impact on the Kashmir Day?
I mean, Kashmir Day is a ritual, and we just observe it and I mean do what we do. But the situation in Kashmir is totally changed. They don't want to live with India. I'm saying it at the cost of reputation. But I think from that point of view, there would be a lot more different from the ground this year, which they can present. Otherwise, there was historical context and UN resolutions and all that would be come out, and the commemorations they would refer to. But this year, there's a lot from the ground.
And apart from this, there is a meeting that is organized at the House of Commons of All Party Parliamentary Group of Pakistan, which includes the Conservative and Labour Party members, and they are going to organize an event on 4th of February to highlight the atrocities and human rights violations by India. And India has got very agitated about it, and they are asking the UK government to not interfere in the India's sensitive matters. So do you think that this event will have any impact on Pakistan's position or stance on the Kashmir issue on the international level?
Actually, there are 2-3 things. In the resolution, in the Kashmir resolution, there was no option for any independence. They said the UN resolution, I'm talking about the UN resolution. The resolution says that after the withdrawal of troops from the both sides, there should be a plebiscite. And Kashmiris should be given an option to decide whether they want to join Pakistan or India. There was no such thing as independent Kashmir. This third option, independent Kashmir, that doesn't join the two sovereigns, which is Pakistan or India, has international connotations. And what are those connotations? Because if the Kashmir become independent, who will guarantee the security and the safety? And that is the UN, and that will give a chance to the international system, through international system, to the big countries to come in and interfere.
And UK government also issued a statement saying that they will not interfere.
No, I am not. What I am saying is that will give a chance to West, especially the United States, to come over, establish bases and stay in Kashmir and monitor China and Russia from this area. They will be. And that would be, and India doesn't want that. India doesn't want that. The international establishment, I'm talking about the establishment of the West and the countries, because they are not doing it because at this point because they want Kashmir to be independent and go to Pakistan or India join. They are specifically doing it because they want to establish a base to check China and close proximity of that.
We have reached this conclusion from today's discussion that India at any cost will never want that to happen. They will never want Kashmiris to get that freedom that they want, because they are depending on the resources of Kashmir, and if Kashmir will get independent, then that will attract the foreign investment, and that will attract the United Nations, and most probably they will invest in Kashmir. So it will rise above Kashmir. It will rise above India. Am I right?
To an extent, but the actual thing is that they don't want to let Kashmir go, especially to anyone other than Pakistan. Even if Kashmir is divided and a major chunk goes to Pakistan, India would not lose as much as it becomes independent, because then United States do not need India at all. They will come there and build a base and do what they want. They don't need India as a strategic partner. I mean, they need, but not to the extent they're right now. They need India as a partner on the economy and other things and all that.
Right.
So these are the odds. So I mean, Indians are caught between these two different odds.
So we have figure of the week, and it's a personality, which is Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar.
He's very important. He's one of the Taliban leader when the Taliban regime was functional and very smoothly functioning in Afghanistan. After the 9/11, when the regime vanished into the thin air, Mullah brother also vanished into the thin air also. Later on, he came to Pakistan and it was reported and Pakistan arrested them. Then Pakistan released them and they disappeared. Now, when the negotiations are making headway, organized by Zalme Khalilzad between Taliban and the United States, once again Pakistan has released them, and now he is straight away joined, and he's leading the delegation which is doing negotiations with the
No, the first
Americans.
meeting was led by Sher Muhammad Abbas.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking
now
about now.
Now
He's
taken
taken.
over.
He's leading the delegation now. What is its important? Its importance is that somehow he was a major political asset kept very close to the heart by the establishment in Pakistan. And now they have released him at a point where he's functional and now he's very important there. So that is his important. And now it is very clear why Taliban are listening to Pakistan. I'm very sure there must have been other people as well. And now it's very clear.
So this is all for today. Until we meet next time, Allah Hafiz.